In this video, I'll teach you how to create this with your smartphone. Alright guys, you are welcome to this video tutorial where I will show you how you can simply create that product advertising promo video using your smartphone. Alright, so the application that I'm going to be using for this tutorial is called Alight Motion. Alright, so Alight Motion is a video editing application which you can simply use to create amazing product videos or amazing videos using your smartphone. Alright, so the link to download Alight Motion is in the description of this video. So I'll tap on this plus icon here for me to create a new project. So I'll tap on this plus icon here. Then the first thing to do is to choose your resolution. I want 180p. I want white background. You can just choose any one you want, but I want this. Then I'll tap on this create project. So once I tap on that, I'm going to wait. As you can see, this is it. So the first thing to do is to start adding your background. All right, so I'll tap on this plus icon here. Then I want to pick a shape. All right, so I want to pick a square shape. I'll tap on this square shape. So once I do that, the first thing for me to do is to change the color. All right, so before I change the color, let me just fit in the shape. All right, so I want the shape to cover the whole screen. All right, so the thing I will do right now is to tap on this place where the arrow is showing. Then I'll click on fill composition area. All right, fill composition area. So I'll tap on it, as you can see. So once I do that, the next thing for me to do is to click on this color. Then I want to actually use a color gradient. All right, so I'll tap on this where the arrow is showing. So I want to use a color gradient. So the first thing for me to do now is to paste my color code. So I have my color code. I'll just paste it now. So before I do that, let me quickly go to text and write something. So let me write something, and here's the color code. At 6, you can just write it somewhere. 6E 0094. All right, so this is the color code. So I'm going to copy it right now. Copy. Then I'll go back. I'll go to my shape, color. Then I'll paste the color code right here. I'll tap here where the arrow is showing. Then I'll paste the color code. All right, you tap and hold and paste color code. Paste color code. All right, so I'll paste the color code, as you can see. And the next thing is my second color code. I'll click on text and add it and copy the color code. All right, so here's the color code at D9. So it is very important for you to note the color code. All right, so without the color code, your background won't be good enough. So make sure you write the color code somewhere. So I'll copy this color code. Copy. Then I'll paste it. So right now I am going to paste it here where the arrow is showing. So I'll paste my color code, paste color code, as you can see. So you can just adjust it anyhow you want. You can just place it right here. It depends on what you want. All right, so let me say I want this. All right guys, so once I do this, the next thing for me to do is to add my product image. So I'll tap on this plus icon here. Then I'll go to my image. So everything you need is in the description of this video. So the product image, everything you need is in the description of this video. All right, just download it and start creating your own video. So right now I am going to go to my eraser. Then I am going to add my product image. So this is it, as you can see. So let's wait for it to appear. All right guys, so here's my product image. So I'll go to move and transform. So I want to rotate this a little bit. So for me to rotate, I'll click here where the arrow is showing. Then I'll rotate it like this. All right, So once I do that, I'm going to reduce the size, and I'll click here and move it right here. All right, so let me reduce the size again. All right guys, so once you do that, the next thing for you to do is to copy this product image. All right, so for you to copy, just tap on it. That's your product image. Then you click here where the arrow is showing. Then you click on duplicate layer. So I'll tap on it. So right now we have two layers of the same thing. All right, so I'll tap on the one I copied. This is the one I copied. Then I'll click on this move and transform. So right here, I want to increase the size of this. So for you to increase the size, just click here where the arrow is showing. Then make sure you swipe right for you to increase the size. All right, make sure you increase the size very well. Then you position it right here. So once you do that, the next thing for you to do is to reduce the opacity of this. All right, so I'm going to reduce the opacity. I'll click on this blending and opacity. Then you reduce the opacity like this. All right guys, so once you do that, make sure that this particular one that you added is not on the top. All right, just tap a note on it and place it here. All right, as you can see. So once we do this, the next thing for us to do is to add our text. All right, so I'll tap on this plus icon here. Then I'll click on text. So the text I want to use right now is let me just say sports shoes. So when you're writing your text, make sure you are spacing them. Sports shoes, as you can see. Sports shoes, make sure you space them. Shoes. And I will align my text right now. I'll tap here where the arrow is showing to align my text, as you can see. So once I do that, the next thing for me to do is to change the font. So I'll tap here where the arrow is showing. Then I can just choose any font I want here. So the font I want to use here is Montserrat semi bold. All right, then I'll change the color. Here's a place I can change the color where the arrow is showing. So I'll tap on it and change the color to white. All right guys, so once I do that, I'll click on this mark icon. Then I'll go to my move and transform. So then I can position my text here and increase the size a little bit. All right, so I'll position my text here and I'll click here to increase the size a little bit. All right guys, so this is nice. I'm going to place it here. All right guys, so once I do this, the next thing for me to do is to add my description. All right, so I'll just tap on this plus icon here. I'll go to text. Then I want to write a description of this product. All right, you can just put anything. All right, so let me just, this is it. So I'll align it. Then I want it like this. All right, then I'll change the font to Montserrat regular. Then I'll change the color to white. All right guys, so this is nice. I'll click on this mark icon. Then I'll position my text and decrease the size. All right, so I don't want it to be too big at all. I'll decrease the size and I'll place it here. Let me decrease the size again. All right guys, so this is nice. And the next thing for me to do right now is to add my price. All right, so I want to add a price of this product. So the very first thing I'll do is to tap on this plus icon. Then I'll choose a circle shape. So I'll tap on this circle shape. Then I want the color of the shape to be white. I'll tap on color and I'll change the color to white. All right, then you can just increase the size a little bit. It depends on you. All right guys, so I'll place this particular shape here. I want it to be here. All right, so once I do that, the next thing for me to do is to add a text. So I'll tap on plus icon, then I'll click on this text where the arrow is showing. So I want to add the price of this product. So I can just say maybe $121. All right, it depends on the price of the product, or it depends on what you want to put there. So once I do that, I'm going to change the font to Montserrat Extra Bold. All right, then I'll change the color. So let me just paste a color code. This is the color code I want to use. All right, so once I do that, I'm going to put this right here. Then I will increase the size. So for you to increase the size, just click here where the arrow is showing, tap on it and swipe right. That's how you can simply increase the size of your text or your layer. It depends on what you are working with. So this is nice. Alright guys, so this is nice. And the next thing for me to do right now is to add a line. So I'll just tap on this plus icon. Then I'll click on this square shape. So once I click that, I'm going to click on edit shape. All right, so right now we have size and radius. So I don't have anything to do with the radius. The only thing I have something to do is the size. So the size at X, I'm going to increase it a little bit. So for it to increase, just swipe right. As you can see, I'm going to increase it. I think this is okay by me. Then I'll click on Y. At Y, I want to increase it. All right, I think this is okay by me. I might still do some adjustment to it, but let's see this. So I'm going to go back. Then I'll click on color. So right now I don't want to use any color for this shape, so I'm going to click here where the arrow is showing to cancel the color. All right, so once you cancel the color, this is what you are going to get. Then I'll click on border and shadow. Here is it, border and shadow. Then I'm going to increase the stroke. I'm going to turn it on. I'll change the color to white. All right, then I will increase the stroke. I think this is okay by me. Let's see. Okay, this is too much. Let me reduce the stroke. I'll go back to border and shadow. Then I'll reduce the stroke. All right guys, so let's see this. So this is nice. So the next thing for me to do is to place this shape. All right, I want to position my shape now. So I want to position it here. So this is very simple. If you follow me, you definitely get this. This is very simple. All right, so once I do that, I'm going to go back. Then I want this product image, this particular product image here, I want it to be on top of the shape. All right, so for me to do that, I'm going to tap and hold on the shape. Just tap and hold on it. Then I'm going to bring it down. All right, as you can see, no, not here. So I'm going to bring it here. All right, okay, not here. All right guys, so as you can see, so I want the product image to be on top, and that's okay now. All right, so once I do that, the next thing for me to do is to add a text. So I just tap on text. I want to use the text to do some effects. All right, so I'll click on text. Then I'll type plus. All right, so once I type plus, I'm going to align it. I'll click here to align where the arrow is showing. So once you align it, just adjust it with your hand. All right, so I'm going to change the font to Montserrat semi-bold. Then I'll change the color to white. All right, then I'll click on this mark icon here, as you can see. So we have let me just increase the size so you can see the text very well. As you can see, we have a plus text. So the next thing for me to do right now is to click on this move and transform. Then I want to rotate this. I want this to be something like a star. All right, so I'll click here where the arrow is showing. Then I'll rotate it to let's see, I think 45 degree. All right, so I want this 45 degree. All right, So once I do that, I'm going to place this here. I'm going to place this here. So the next thing for me to do right now is to give it an animation. All right, so for me to do that, I'll click on this move and transform. Then I'll add a keyframe at the beginning. All right, then I'll go to exactly 4 seconds. 4 seconds. So this is it, and I'm going to add another keyframe. So I'll click here where the arrow is showing for me to add a keyframe. So I'll tap on it. All right, so at this particular point, I'll click here where the arrow is showing. So I'll rotate this to minus 270. Minus 270. All right, guys, as you can see, this is it. So once I do that, I want to add an effect to it. All right, so I'll click on this effect. Then I'll click on add effects. So the effect I want to add right now is grid repeat. This is it. Just search for it, grid repeat, or just click on this repeat. Then you click on grid repeat. So I'll tap on it. Then I'll click on this standard settings. All right, so right here you can just reduce the number of count. So I want to reduce the number of count. Alright guys, so as you can see, so just leave it that way. We are still going to do some things to it. So I'll click on text. I'll just add a point, just a point. So once you add a point, just click here where the arrow is showing, tap and hold on it, and tap and hold on your plus text. Then I want to merge it together. I want to group it together. So I'll tap here where the arrow is showing for me to group. I'll tap on it. As you can see, we have this as just one group. So once I do that, the next thing for me to do is to click on this move and transform. Then I'll click here where the arrow is showing. Then I'll reduce the size. All right, so that's what I want to achieve. I want to reduce the size. Then I'll place it here. Let me reduce the size again. All right guys, so you can place it anywhere you want. It depends on you. So I'll just place it here. So if we give it a play right now, we have something that is moving. All right, so let me just play it. As you can see, it is somehow blur. So once I do this, so let me change the color of this this text. I want to change the color of the text. I don't want this. So I'll tap on this $121. Then I'll click on this color. So I want to change the color to okay, let me just copy the color code of this color. Let me copy the color code and I'll paste it there. Copy color code. Sorry. Copy color code. Copy color code. Then I want to place it here where I wrote $121. All right, so I'll click on color. Then I'll paste the color code. Paste color code, as you can see. So we have something nice now. All right, so once I do that, the next thing for me to do is to start adding a keyframe and to start animating all of my layers. All right, so I'm going to tap on every one of them and I'm going to animate them. All right, so before I start adding my keyframe, all right, so I want to do something here. So let me just tap on this shape we added. This is the shape. So I want to add an effect to it. So I'll click on effects. I'll click on add effects. So I want to add drawing effect. So I'll click on drawing an edge. So I want to add this particular effect, drawing progress. Then I want to add this one, draw gradually. I'll tap on it. As you can see, we have something like this. As you can see, this is perfect. As you can see, we have something like that. All right, so what I want to do right now is to click on it. and we have a keyframe here. So I'll tap on this move and transform. So for you to see the keyframe, so I'll go to the effect first. I'll tap on it, then I'll go to effect. So this particular keyframe here, I'll tap a node on it. I want it to be exactly 3 seconds. All right, so I'm going to place it to 3 seconds. Here's the keyframe. I want it to be at 3 seconds. Okay, this is 3 seconds. This is 3 seconds or 3.5 seconds. I think that's okay. 3.5 seconds. All right, 3.5 seconds. So that's all about that. All right, guys. So I want to group my text. I want to group this text $121 and this shape. I want to group them together. So I'll tap here where the arrow is showing. I'll tap a node on it, and my shape also, I'll tap a node on it. Then I'll group them. I'll click on this group. All right, so right now I have the group here. This is it. All right, so I think that's all. So let's start adding a keyframe to our layers. So I'll tap on my first layer, which is this image. This is my product image. Then I'll click on this move and transform. So at the starting point, I want to add a keyframe to it. So I'll click on this plus icon to add a keyframe, and I will go to exactly 1 second, and I'll add another keyframe to it. All right, so I'll go back to my starting point where I added my first keyframe. So I want this to be coming from here also. All right, just make sure that you are following the red line. You won't be able to see it, but make sure you are following the red line. Just make sure that your eyes is there. That's very, very important. So I'll go to the middle of the 2 keyframe I added, and I'll click this graph. Then I'll paste the curve. So remember, we have copied the curve. Then I'll paste the curve here. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing to all of my layers. So the next thing is this line here. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to it. I'll add a keyframe at the beginning, and I'll go to 1 second and add another keyframe. Then at this starting point where I added my first keyframe, I want it to be coming from here. I want it to be coming from here. All right. Okay, no, that's not what we want. Let me just cancel this. I'm not adding any keyframe to my line, so I don't want to add any keyframe to my line. All right, so I want it like that. So I'm going to click on my text. I'm going to do the same thing to it. At the starting point, I'll add a keyframe, and at exactly 1 second, I will add another keyframe. Then I'll go back to the starting point. I want this to be coming from here. All right, just make sure that you are following the line. Then I'll add the graph. I'll click here where the arrow is showing. Then I'll paste the curve. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing to my description. Here's my description. At the starting point, I'll add a keyframe. At exactly 1 second, I will add another keyframe. Then at the starting point, I want it to be coming from here. Make sure you are following the red line. All right. So I'll go to the middle of the 2 keyframe and paste my curve. So I'll do the same thing to my button. So here's my button. Okay, not this. Okay, this is it. At the starting point, I'll add a keyframe. At exactly 1 second, I'll add another keyframe. Then at the starting point, I want it to be coming from here. Then I'll paste my curve, paste curve. Then I'll do the same thing to my last layer, which is this. Okay, this is it. Let's see, not this. Okay, this is it. At the starting point, add a keyframe. At 1 second, add a keyframe. At exactly 0.00 seconds, I want it to be coming from here. All right. So then I'll paste my curve. Paste curve. All right, guys. So we are done with this. Let's give it a play. All right, guys. But we are not done yet. We want our animation to be more perfect. All right. So the next thing we need to do right now is just to adjust the layers. All right. So the first image, I'm not going to adjust that. The only thing I will adjust is my description, my button, and my line. All right. So my description, here's my description. I don't want this to be starting from the starting point. All right. So at exactly 0.04 seconds. So make sure you are following this line. That is the place you definitely know where to place your layer. This line is very, very important where the arrow is showing. All right. So at exactly 0.04 seconds, I want to let my description to be coming in. So I'll adjust that. I'll just place it here. All right. That's for my description. Then my button, which is this, at exactly 0.08 seconds, I want that to be coming also. Here's it. Then my line, I want my line to be coming at exactly 0.07 seconds. All right. So where is it? So here's my line. I want it to be coming from here. So let's just give it a play and let's see how it looks. All right, guys. So this is so perfect right now, as you can see. All right, guys. So once you do this, the next thing for us to do is to go to 30 seconds. So we are going to go to 30 seconds. And at 30 seconds, I'm going to add a keyframe to every one of the layer. So I'm going to add a keyframe. Then at 3.5 seconds, I'll add another keyframe. All right. Then I'll go to 4.21 seconds. 4.21 seconds. And I'll add another keyframe to it. 4.21. Then at this 4.21, I want this to be going out. All right. All right, guys. Then I will add a graph. So I want this graph right now. This is the one I want to use now. No, this. Then I'll copy the curve. Copy curve. All right. Then I'll go to my second layer. At 30 seconds, I will add a keyframe. At 3.5 seconds, I'll add another keyframe. Then at 4.05 seconds, I want this to be going out. I'll add a keyframe, and I want it to be going out. You can just write all of these things down so you won't forget it when you are creating your own video. All right. So at this point, I'm going to click on this graph and I'll paste the curve. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing to my next layer. At 30 seconds, I'll add a keyframe. At 3.5 seconds, I will add another keyframe. Then at 4.13 seconds, I will add another keyframe. Then I want this to be going out. Then I'll paste my curve. Paste curve. All right. Then I'll go to my next layer and I'll do the same thing to it. So here is it. At 30 seconds, at 30.5 seconds, then at 4.21 seconds, 4.21, I'll add another keyframe, and I want this to be going out. All right. So I want this to be going out. All right, guys. Then I'll paste my curve. Paste curve. So I'll go to my next layer, which is my product image. I'll do the same thing to it. All right. So this is very, very simple. Just make sure that you follow me. And if you don't understand this video for the first time, you can go to my channel and watch a video I did on introduction to Alight motion. So that will make you to understand how Alight motion work, so you can understand it when you are creating any video. All right. So at my product image at 4.21, I will add another keyframe and I want it to be going out. All right. So this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. Then I'll add my curve. Don't forget that. So we can have a smooth animation. I'll paste my curve. So I'll go to my next. I'll go to my line. Add a keyframe at 3.5. Add a keyframe. Then at 4.21 for my line. 4.21. Add another keyframe. And I want this to be going out. Then I'll paste my curve. Paste curve. And the last thing I want to add a keyframe is my product image, the one I copied, which I reduce the opacity. So I'll add a keyframe. Add the keyframe. Then I'll go to is it 4.21? Yes, 4.21. And I'll add another keyframe, and I want this to be going out. Alright guys, so this is nice. So and I'll paste my curve, paste curve. Alright. So let's just give this a play and let's see how it looks. Alright guys, as you can see, that's so perfect. That's so perfect. That's so perfect. So at exactly 4.23, I want everything to stop. Alright, I want to trim my layer at exactly 4.23. So I'll click here where the arrow is showing. I'll tap a node on it. Then I'll tap on all of my layer I added. Then I'll click here where the arrow is showing. I'll tap here. As you can see, now I have trimmed my layers. All right, so that's it. As you can see, this is so perfect. All right guys, so the next thing for me to do is just to add animation to my background. I'll click on it and I'll click on effects. I'll click on add effects. So the effect I want to add is fading effects. Fading. So I'll just click on, just search for fading. I have it here, fading and fade out. So that's all. So let's give it a play and let's see how it looks. Alright guys, so that's so perfect. So let's say you want to add another product image. Maybe you are done with this and you want to create another clip using another product image. So you don't need to go through the stress of adding it one by one again. The only thing you need to do is just to save this. Just tap a node on this where the arrow is showing and click on everything and save it as a group. And group it. Just group it. Just click here where the arrow is showing for you to group. Tap here. So right now we have this as just one. Okay, I did a mistake there. Let me go back. So why is it doing like this? Let me play it again and let's see how it looks. I think I added something I'm not supposed to add to my product image. So here's my product image. Let me just redo. Alright guys, so we have gotten our, okay, this is nice now. So the next thing for me to do, like I said, let's say you want to add another product image. So the next thing for me to do is just to group everything. Alright, so I'll tap here where the arrow is showing. I'll tap and hold and I'll click on every one of them. Then I'll click on this place where the arrow is showing for me to group. I'll tap on it. So right now we have this as just one layer. As you can see, we have it as just one layer. So the only thing you need to do right now is to save this as elements. So I'll just tap on it. Then you click here where the arrow is showing. Then you click on save to my element. Save to my element. All right. So once you do that, as you can see, this is it. So once you do that, you click here, this plus icon here. Then you go to element. So this is the element you have saved. I have so many elements I have saved. So I'll just click here. This is the element I saved. So as you can see, this is it. So right now, the only thing you need to do is just to click on this element, and you click on this edit properties. That's element properties rather. Then you click on this edit original element. All right. So once you click on that, you are going to see everything you added here, and the only thing you need to change is just the color code and everything. So let me just change one thing. Let me change the product image. That's all. You can change anything you want. So I just tap on this product image. Then you click on this color. Then you click here where the arrow is showing. So right now you can just replace the product image with any product you want. So let's say I want to use another product. Let me use this. Then I'll click on this plus icon here. Then you can just adjust this by yourself. It's very, very simple. Just click on this move and transform, and you turn off the rotate. All right. Then you can increase the size if you want. Let me just increase the size. Then you can place it anyhow you want. Okay, this is nice. All right. So you can just change it like that. As you can see, we have something like this. Then you can change the, what's this called, the second product image. This is it. Then you click on this color. Then you click here where the arrow is showing. Then you add any product image you want. Let me just use this. So I will go to my move and transform. Then I'll reduce this, as you can see. So we have something like this. Then you can change the text. Just tap on the text. Tap on any text you want to change. Click on this edit text, and you can change the text to any text you want. So let me just call this ladies bag. Ladies bag. All right. So I'll tap on this plus icon here. Then you can write this description of the bag and everything. Then you can also change the color code. Let me just tap here. Then I'll click on this color. Then you can change the color to anyone you want. So let me just change the color to this. It just depends on the one you want. All right. You can choose any color you want. All right. So you can change it to any color at all. So let me just say the one that will make it to look more good. So let me just use this as an example. You can use any color you want, but I don't really love this color. But let me just use this as an example. All right. Then if you want to change the color of your text, just click on the group. Then you click on this edit group. Then you click on your text, and you can change the color to any color you want. Let me just use this. All right. Then you go back. You have something like this. So once you are done changing this, you go back. Then you can add something like this. All right. So right now we have something like this. So let's play this from the beginning and let's see how it looks. As you can see. All right, guys. So this is so perfect. This is so perfect. So let me just save my video. For you to save your video, just click here where the arrow is showing. So I'll tap on it. Then you click on this video and you click on export. All right. Then you have to wait for it to load. It's the same preparing video, so you have to wait for it to load. All right, guys. So here's our video. Let's play it one more time. All right, guys. So this is very, very nice, as you can see. All right. So if you want to save your video to your gallery, don't forget to click here and save your video to your gallery. All right. So I have a video editing course. I have a complete video editing course that will teach you everything you need to know about creating videos using your smartphone. All right. So for you to register for the course, just click on the link in the description of this video where I write register for my advanced video editing course. Click on the link and register for the course. All right, guys. I will see you in my next video tutorial.